we can easily iterate on arrays. But now the question is, what type of arrays? Arrays of strings, arrays of numbers, arrays of booleans, arrays of actually whatever you want. In this case, we have an array of objects. So obviously we can check each individual property of the object. How we do that? Again, remember to use curly brackets because we are going to add some JavaScript inside of the markup. So then we can do props dot list, because that's the name of the property we're passing to the tennis players component, dot map. So map will return for each element on the array, it will return what? Well, player now will be an object, so we can here return deep, and then we can add some details. So what do we know about the player? We know the name, and we also know the age. So we could let's do a quick test. First of all, name equals player.name. Right, and then you see that the names get displayed. Before adding the age, let's think about formatting a bit, because this line, you can imagine, right, is going to be a bit long. So in JavaScript, you cannot add a breakpoint after the return, a break line after return statement. That's not illegal. Look, you get an error straight away, but you can add a parenthesis, and that's the trick, right? So because we are adding a parenthesis here, we now can easily format our element, right? So we can add name, we can, let's add a break line, or no, maybe a comma, and then we can add the age. It's the same thing, right? Player.age. You see, name and age. We can also avoid adding explicit return statement. So when we use map, if instead of curly brackets we use parentheses, then look, Visual Studio is complaining, right? But it's complaining because when we use parentheses, that means that whatever comes next is immediately returned. So that means that we can get rid of the return statement. And after fixing indentation, if you're not sure how to fix indentation, in Visual Studio you can do right click, format document. You see, it's not perfect, sometimes it fails, but it should help a bit, right? So now you can see it works perfectly. It's returning the same result. You see the error here. Remember to add a key property on the root element of each item on the list. So what's unique here? Well, the name, right? So player.name. Technically speaking, we can use the index because map receives a second argument, which is the index starting at 0. So Nadal will be index 0, Djokovic will be index 1, blah blah blah. So even though that will work, it's not a recommended practice because the index is somehow unrelated to the content. That means that what happens if we now sort the array alphabetically, right? So whatever index was 0, maybe it will be 1. So even though in that case is correct, it's not considered a really good practice to use the index as the key. So I'm sure in the majority of the cases, I mean, if you don't have any other chance, or if you don't have any other unique value, then that's fine. But as far as possible, try to stick to something that specifically belongs to the object and it's unique.